Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 861. I'm Kristin Omdahl, and we are live in Southwest Florida in my backyard. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting this morning. Let me know if you have any questions for me. And I'll just wait now for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. Let's see if I can get that straight. I can't get it straight. I keep going one way or the other. Hi, Joe. Hi, Lisa. Stop messing with it. Hi, Rita. Good morning. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. I made myself some ice water to sit out here, and I can't find it anywhere. Oh, it's very hot and steamy here today. Hi, Grace and Sharon and Val and Lisa and Judy. It's been very stormy here all night and this morning, so I didn't feel like risking it going to the beach. Hi, Melanie and Leona. So I thought it might be interesting to wash, block, and reshape the Gracie shawl this morning, since that's the video tutorial that will be premiering right after the show this morning. This is the Gracie shawl. And just like we talk about with blocking all the time, I really do feel like blocking has some very strange myths around it, and it can be very intimidating to some people, but it really is just washing and reshaping something and allowing it to dry naturally. And so the more I can show you how to do it and why we do it, I feel like the better service I'm giving to how we take care of our hand knits, as well as what demystifying blocking at the same time. My smokers and the Lanai. As you can see, I haven't figured out a fireproof mat for my smoker yet, so it's still inside. Anyway, it's not going to hurt anything today. It's not going to be too distracting, I don't believe. Let's see. Hi, Kathy and Anna. Anna, I looked everywhere. I don't know where I put it. Hi, Lily. I looked on the floor. I looked in my bedroom, my bathroom, my office, and the kitchen. Like, where else could I have said it? I haven't been anywhere else. Hi, Marianne. It's probably right under my nose, right? That's usually where things are when you think you can't find them. And I rushed around, and you know, the more you rush when you're looking for something, you could literally be glazing right over it, which is probably what I did. Anyway, I'll live. All right, so whether you have this pattern already or not, this is the Gracie top-down knit lace shawl, and the sample here is shown in the Be So Fine gradient kit in the denim gradient kit. And in the video tutorial, what you're going to see is I did all of the stitches to show you how to do the stitches, but I did it on my size number 5 bulky weight yarn. This is that same shawl done in Be So Easy yarn. Isn't it amazing that that's the same stitches? Isn't it amazing you can get such a different look with the same pattern just by switching your yarn and your needle size? I'm thinking that if you made 2 of these, you could turn it into a poncho. Imagine this, and that would apply to whether you did it in the fingering weight or the bulky weight or anything in the middle. Imagine this, and this is the beauty of a half circular shawl. I think that if you made 2 of them and sewed them from the shoulder down to the hem here, you would make an absolutely gorgeous poncho. And that would apply to whatever weight yarn you made it in. I think that length would be really pretty too. You could even just sew it there and leave the arms open, or you could sew it here and sew it there and just leave the, have like that cold shoulder look. Either way, it would be absolutely stunning. I know some of you are asking about what I'm wearing here today too. This is the Sabrina crochet vest. So we're talking about a knit shawl and we're talking about a crochet vest. This is the Sabrina crochet topper vest, and it's made in Be So Sporty yarn, which is my number 2 sport weight yarn. I'll turn around so you can see the whole thing. I'm wearing it over my new distressed Amazon stretchy jeans and a black bodysuit. Hi, Jackie and Suzanne and Ada. And anybody else that I missed. Melanie's working on some dishcloths for a friend of her daughter's. That's great. Wonderful. Hello to everybody that I might have missed as well. Oh, and I'm wearing one of the rattan earrings from my earring set that I got on Amazon too. Hi, Lori. Good morning. All right, so let's get started on the tutorial. Did not do my hair this morning. It's so humid here. I don't know if you could even see it on camera. It feels so thick that I feel like you should be able to see it in the air. Anyway, all right, let's get started on blocking. So, obviously this shawl has already been blocked once, but let's say you've worn it several times, right? Once you wear something several times, how is that any different than wearing a pair of jeans a few times or wearing a blouse a few times? Once you've worn something a few times, what are you going to do? You're going to rewash it. So here I have a bowl of water set up. I'm using just room temperature water. As long as you're not using animal fibers, you should be able to use warm water too. I usually stick with room temperature water though for most things. And I'm going to take one small squirt of Be So Clean soap, just one squirt. That's all it takes. It's highly concentrated. And I'll swirl that together. It's not showing up on camera. Whoopsie. How's that? Okay, we did one squirt, swirl it together, and I'm going to put my shawl in there. Okay? Think of this as maintenance and care, how you hand wash something after it gets dirty and it needs to be clean again. So when we wash it, we may or may not need to reshape it. And because this one has a straight line across the top and that beautiful scallop line across the bottom, chances are after it's been in some water, you may end up wanting to reshape it. And we're going to do that on blocking mats with pins this morning. So you would want this to soak for, oh, I forgot a second bowl of water too. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. You need to rinse it still. Okay, I'm back. I got a second bowl of fresh water. You'd think I would have found my drinking water while I was in there, but nope. Okay, so for those of you that may be wondering, why do you use, what is the purpose of soap? I mean, how does soap work? Let's say it that way. How does soap work? What soap really does is it reacts with dirt and oil and grime, and it loosens it off of the fibers that it's clinging to. So when you get makeup or dirt or oil from your skin on your clothing, that's how clothing gets soiled, and then it adheres to the fibers until you can do something that loosens it from the fibers. Sometimes water alone is enough because water moves. If it's not clinging too tightly to the fibers, water moves the dirt and oil and grime off of there, but sometimes it's sticky, and most of the time it's definitely oily, like the oils of your skin or oil is sticky. So what you need is the soap to loosen it off the fibers, and that's why some light agitation helps. It loosens the soap off of the fibers. This applies to washing machine. This is just soap 101. This is how soap works. It loosens the dirt from the fibers. But what do you do then? Now you've loosened it, so now you have whatever dirt and grime and oils that were on the fibers in the water. So what we need now is we need fresh water to rinse, we need that dirt and grime to stay in this water. And so once it's been loosened off of the fibers, it's in this water. So now we put it in the fresh water, and now that it's loose, it comes off of the fiber. Does that make sense? That's why even in your washing machine, you have a rinse, you wash, and then you have a rinse cycle afterwards. Okay, so now I've soaked in the soap for a little bit, and I've rinsed out in my second bowl. And now we're going to, did you notice that I squeezed it? I did not wring. Anytime you have a delicate fiber or a handmade fiber, if you twist and wring when you're trying to express the water out of it, you run the risk of damaging your stitches. When stitches are delicate, you want to be careful with them. So what we do instead is squeeze the water out in one direction. You don't want to turn direction while you do that. And one way that I find really helpful for expressing more water is to put the shawl out, and this applies to whatever you're drying. Put it in a clean towel, roll up the towel like that, and then put as much pressure on it as you want. I could literally, in fact I will, I could stand on this. As long as you're not going in, as long as you're not twisting, it does not matter how much pressure you put on it, because anytime water senses a drier spot, it's going to move to the drier spot. That is so helpful in getting rid of stains. Like if you have a stain on your shirt in a restaurant and you're trying to get it out, you always want to put a dry cloth behind the stain and a wet cloth in front, and as you push, you can push that stain through from the wet to the dry. It's very cool. We should do that one day too. Show you how to remove some stains. All fun stuff that I've done before in demos. I love doing demos. Thank you, Ada. This is the Sabrina top. You can find this crochet pattern on my website. So as you can see, it actually has maintained a lot of its shape. That first blocking really does put the stitches in the right order, but let's go ahead and pin it out anyway, because let's say this is your first time doing it. Let's say you just finished knitting this and you're washing and blocking for the first time and you need to reshape it. Let's see if we can do it on 2 boards. If I can try to do it on 2 boards, I will. Let's see if we can move this to get the right angle. How's that? Is that a pretty good angle? Just want to get the table as close as possible. Is that pretty good? Not really. There, how's that? I'd say that was pretty good. Okay. Does everybody think that's a pretty good angle? What yarn did I use for this shawl? I used a Be So Fine gradient kit. This color is called Denim, but it comes in lots of gorgeous gradient colors. All right. So it looks like we will probably need a 3rd mat for this one, which means I would have to do it on the floor. We may need to go out, you know what? Let's do it right. Let's go out to the deck. I'm gonna have to get on my hands and knees, but you know, whatever. All right, hopefully no snakes pop up on the deck while I do this. So I'll push the camera down. I'm gonna grab the right number of cords. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to make this all convenient for the camera and all, but in reality, this is something I do on the floor. I find it is way more effective to do this sort of thing on the floor. Okay, I'm not bringing my computer out with me because it's been storming and I feel like I'm gonna have to rush enough to get my camera back inside if needed. So I'm just gonna do this with this camera. If I miss your questions, I apologize, and maybe someone else can answer them for you. Let's see. Let's get this nicely on. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So ideally I would do this in the house. I will say, I know that it sounds like a great idea to dry this sort of thing outdoors, but I have found that it depends on where you live, obviously, but I have found that anytime I've tried to dry things outdoors, they end up getting dirtier from the dust. I don't know if it's from construction or what have you, but I do not have good luck with drying things outdoors. Now, I remember back in the day, my mom dried all our clothes on a line in the backyard, but it doesn't work for me. then maybe it's just the world we live in now. Maybe it's where I live, but I do not have great success with drying outdoors. So even though I'm showing you this outside right now, because I feel like it's where I can get the most space to show it to you, I'm definitely going to dry this inside. In fact, once it's pinned to the mat, you can even prop this up and lean it against a wall so it doesn't take up the floor. If you have pets, it's safer for them because they won't step on it and possibly step on the pins. Or if you have toddlers or what have you, it's definitely safer to lean it up against a wall. But if that's the case and you have small ones at home, you would probably want to put this inside a locked room as well. Anyway, all right, so we're always going to pin in midpoints. I always start with the midpoint, a midpoint, and then ends. So I'm going to go to the end here. Ouch, I just got a cramp in my toe. Either got a cramp in my toe or a snake bit me from under the thing, right? Oh, dang it. Looks like a cramp in my toe. Okay, I think I'll live. I have seen snakes pop up through these slats though. Hopefully they're scared of me this morning though. All right. So we started at the midpoints and then we went to the ends. How are we doing on time? 16 minutes. Okay, good. I don't want to spill over into the live premiere of the tutorial video for this shawl. So now we have a midpoint and an end point. Well, these end up becoming our end points then to create a new midpoint. And so from this end point, from this midpoint and that end point, they become our end points to create a new midpoint. Okay? I'm going to do the top edge here first. So this one and this one become our endpoints for a new midpoint. This one and this one become our endpoints for a new midpoint. I think you get the idea. So I'll continue doing midpoints between 2 points until I feel like I've got a nice straight edge along the top here. And then we'll move on to the scallops. And this is actually a very interesting scallop. Because it's a large scallop, it requires more than just one pin per scallop, and I'll explain that to you when we get there. It also has a beautiful picot bind off, which is not only pretty, but I feel like having those little beads from the picot actually end up helping to space out your pins as well. So just like in midpoints, we're going to go from that one to that one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle. So we'll go to the center one and call that our midpoint. We'll do that on the other side here. This is our midpoint. And so we're going to pin out the individual scallops first, and then we'll come back in and do some fine points of each of those large scallops. Everybody good? Hopefully, I can't read those. Okay, I don't know. I can't read them and do this at the same time, so I apologize. You can use a wire at the top, absolutely. Sometimes I use wires, sometimes I don't. I have a new blocking tutorial I'll be sharing with you soon where I did a rectangular wrap in Be So Easy yarn. It's a pattern that's coming out soon, and in that one it's all straight lines. I will definitely be showing you how to use the blocking wires in that one. This one, it's optional. You could certainly do the midpoints. This one would be harder, but you could definitely use blocking pins along this edge to get a straight line. I feel like I prefer to do the scallops manually. Okay. So now that we've got the midpoints of each scallop, now we're going to go back in and evenly space out these beautiful scallops because they're so much prettier and wider than just one point like that. So I'm going to go in with about 5 total per scallop, and see how I just kind of spread it out a little bit. So starting with that one in the center, we'll then just pull out a little bit here and here, and I space and I use those picots to help me with spacing. Okay, and I do not pin in the concave part of the scallops, just in the wider parts. you can hear the birds. They're sounding pretty cheerful here this morning. Definitely sounds like there's more than one. Oh, while I'm doing this, I can also give you a reminder. Tomorrow is the day I will be announcing the winner of this week's giveaway. So if you still haven't left a comment on episode, what would it have been? Episode 857 is the yarn giveaway post from last week. If you haven't yet left a comment on there, today would be the last day to do that so that you can be entered to win a full bag of Be So Scrubby yarn and a double zip mesh pouch, which is a over $30 value, I believe. Really nice gift. Or giveaway for yourself. Yeah, a prize, I mean. Okay, so there we have it. It's all blocked. And now we're going to allow it to dry. As it dries, it will maintain its shape. Oh, I skipped one. Whoopsie. And I'll do a real quick demonstration also of what I mean by lifting it up. So, if you didn't want to leave it on the floor like this, now that it's pinned, I can lift up the whole thing and lean it against the wall. I'll show you, I'll move the camera in a second. I'm going to lean it first. Turn it around so you can see. There we go. Beautiful, right? Isn't that great? And you know what's funny? As you can step away from it now, I can definitely see where I could make some changes. So like up here in that corner, I could add another pin in the corner there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the fact that I did a pretty symmetrical job here. Not always the case. Sometimes I do a better job than others, but other than that right-hand corner needing a little bit of zhuzhing, I think the rest of it looks pretty good. And so that's how I would lean it against the wall to let it dry. I will not be leaning it against the wall here for the rest of the day. Like I said, I don't want to run the risk of it getting wet from the rain. I should give you a plant update while we're out here, though. My plumeria is doing fantastic. Look at all those flowers. My lemon tree is this one's doing okay. My bougainvillea, this one's got flowers. That one looks pretty lush. The one over there is looking iffy still, but we'll see. My pineapple is looking terrible, but I'm resprouting a new pineapple top in the kitchen right now. So as soon as it has a decent amount of roots on it, I'll transplant this one here instead. My gardenia did not survive this location. I do believe this was too much sun for it. I'm going to need something that requires a lot more sun to be able to put it there. And speaking of something that likes a lot of sun, both of my aloe veras are doing fantastic. It's time to weed, apparently. But my aloes are doing fantastic out here. I'll show you my indoor plant, or my Lanai plants in a second. I blocked the door with my blocking mats. How's that for a pun on words? Okay, let's see, what have we got here? So I have my two incredibly gorgeous orchids. My friend who's really into orchids said, if you're doing that well with orchids, you need 10 more. I was like, I need an orchid stand if I'm going to do that. I don't have space for them, which made me go down the rabbit hole this weekend and think, well, should I build an orchid stand with some small pieces of wood? And then I said, no, you should probably just buy one, but I sure would like to make it. So look at that, a whole other side tangent of confusing myself. Anyway, They look amazing, and I also have time because apparently you shouldn't transplant or do anything with orchids while they're blooming. I do believe these are way too big for their original pots, so I have to transplant them, but not until they stop flowering, and we're in no rush for that, right? They're just so gorgeous. But look at all the roots spilling out, and they're incredibly top heavy now, so for the most of the time I have to lean them over next to this ivy in order for them to not fall over. They fall over all the time. Here is my Vanda orchid. Not much to see. It's growing roots like crazy, and there's new growth on the plant. There isn't a new stem with new flowers coming yet, but I feel very hopeful that it's still growing and doing well. Like I said, the roots are growing like crazy, and I do see new growth on the leaves as well. This is my lemon tree that I grew from a seed, and it's doing fairly well. I almost think it looks better than the one out in the yard, but we'll see. And then my spider plant from 5 generations of my family is doing phenomenal. It definitely looks happy here. It has so many babies, and we even have flowering stems on it. Can you see the little flowers on there too? It's just amazing. And my my fern is doing amazing too. They all look great. They could use a little water, it looks like. But other than that, they're great. All right. So I missed everybody's comments while I was out there sweating my booty off doing the pinning. Did I miss anything super important? Did your questions get answered by maybe other people in the live chat? I'm guessing that could be possible as well. Let's see, we're almost out of time, which means we are really close to the live premiere of the Gracie Shawl tutorial video. Oh, do you want to come say hi? Ooh, we have a visitor. We didn't even have kitty visitors yet today. We have a visitor though. Who's this? Hi, Marlon. Good morning.
Hi.
You're not on camera. Oh yeah, there you are. There's a lag.
Yeah.
Florida is hot. I'm sweating down my face today. It's so steamy out here. All right, we have 2.5 minutes before the next premiere. Do you want to read the quote today?
Of course.
Oh, this is a nice treat. Okay, so Marlon's going to read the first quote from Create, Share, Inspire Notebook, Volume 1, Issue 4. Read the author first. Who's it from?
By Jeremy Taylor.
Thank you. Okay.
Look with great forgiveness upon the weakness of others.
Ooh.
That's a savage.
That is.
That's like
Say it again.
Look with great forgiveness upon the weakness of others. That's like a gangster,
Oh,
I like
that's
that.
very powerful, yes. And it's something that can apply to everybody about anyone in your life, including your kids.
I think that's my cue to go. Goodbye.
I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too.
All right.
I'm going to the gym. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye. It is so very true and so wonderful. Thank you so much to Marlon for gracing us with your presence and for reading today's quote. That is so special. And what an amazing quote. Look at how sweaty my hair is soaking wet now. Anyway, if you have the time and can join me for the live premiere of the Gracie Shawl tutorial today, I will be showing you how to make that gorgeous shawl on number 5 bulky weight yarn, so you can see it very clearly, and also you can see that in the same pattern you can actually make 2 different looks or many different looks within the same pattern. Very exciting. Thank you to Judy for all of the links today. Very much appreciated. If you can join me for the live premiere, great. If you can't, no worries. After the live premiere is over, the video will turn into a regular video on YouTube that you can watch as many times as you want, play and pause as you need it. If you have questions, always feel welcome to leave them for me in the comments as well. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you in the live premiere in 30 seconds, and I will see you tomorrow for the next episode of Create, Share, Inspire podcast. Bye-bye.